Welcome back to Not So Pro Football Talk. Today we're going to be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs 2023 season and what we grade them for this. We are doing a series of talking about each and every single team's 2023 season, how it went, and where do we actually grade them. Now, going into the Chiefs, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys what I graded them. I graded them an A, and AJ and Vince graded them an A minus. So we're kind of all in agreement. The reason for the A and the A minuses is because at the end of the day, they ended up on top. Now we're going to get into the season of how it started off rough, etc. Everybody didn't look like the team we knew for the years and years that they've been playing, but they got it done. So go ahead, guys. Before we get into this video, if you guys like the series, you're enjoying the channel, go ahead and hit the sub button, hit that like button. It means the world to us. The Kansas City Chiefs 2023 season was nothing that we had seen before from them. Statistically, it was one of the worst seasons that they have ever had. Patrick Mahomes, this is one of his worst seasons with 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 4,000 yards, the lowest stats, and a 92.6 quarterback rating. That's his lowest that he's ever had. The interceptions was the most he's ever had in a season. It's his second lowest touchdowns in any season, with 2019 being the only one that comes close to that. But it was just a rough season all around for Patrick Mahomes and this offense. This was also Travis Kelce's one of his worst years that he has had since the 2019 season. He had only 5 touchdowns, way down from where he's been for the past 3 years. He only had 984 yards. Yeah, he could have hit that 1,000-yard mark if he had played the full season, with he not getting injured for the first game, with him sitting out the last game, etc. He could have hit that 1,000-yard mark, but he still ended up not hitting it. So, and then today, we don't count it. Only 93 receptions. He's usually around the 100 reception mark. Not very good from Travis Kelce. He just didn't look like the same guy all year round. And then that's the two main pieces of this Chiefs offense. And then you look at the wide receivers, and it was really nothing going on for the receivers for the Kansas City Chiefs. Tony, we all know what the garbage trash can that man is of a wide receiver. And then you go to Rashee Rice, who's a rookie who played really well for a rookie coming onto this Chiefs offense. And then after that, MVS still didn't live up to the hype of the contract they signed him to and what they were hoping he could become for them. Overall, a Chiefs offense that did not look like what we expected and the standard they had set for so many years, with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce being the main core of why that offense has been so good for the past 3 or 4 years. Now let's move on to the defense. The defense is the reason why this team succeeded so much, and we're able to go 11-6 and go into the playoffs and win in the playoffs. This Chiefs defense, led by Chris Jones, Snead, etc., they were absolutely clamping offenses year around, holding them to very low-scoring games. No team scored more than 27 points on them the entire year. And the only team that did do that 27 points was the Green Bay Packers. The next closest that came to that was the Niners in the Super Bowl. They scored 25. That's how good this Chiefs defense was all year around. They were just incredibly, from the front end to the back end, incredibly stout, incredibly getting to the ball. Very, very good defense from the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the reason for the A for my grading and the A minus for the other guys' grading, even though it was a rough go the whole season, where everybody was criticizing them, saying they weren't going to be able to go to the distance, et cetera, that the Kansas City Chiefs, the team that we knew them as, is gone, et cetera. The dynasty has ended. Everybody was calling for their neck, et cetera. They ended up getting done because at the end of the day, they had a great defense, and defense wins championships. That's what we say around here. And they had a leader of a Patrick Mahomes that could end of the day, even though he's frustrated. We saw more frustration from him forever in this season. with certain calls by the ref, etc. And then he goes out there and he continues to get it done every single play. He puts his all out there. He's a leader, incredible leader. And they have Andy Reid, who's a incredible coach, one of the greatest coaches of all time. And when you take those two combinations, there's three combinations of a great head coach, a great quarterback, and a great defense into the playoffs. It's going to be hard to be beaten at the end of the day. That's a tough combination to beat. Now, as far as the things that they need to do to continue this championship run where they've won 2 in a row and now they're going to go for 3 this year, what do they need to do? Well, you got to bring back a lot of people on that defense, and they have brought back the core, the most important people. They franchise tag Snead, who is, from what I've heard, looking for a trade, and that is potential. But right now, he's still on the Chiefs with the franchise tag, and they've signed Chris Jones to a monster long-term deal, making him one of the highest-paid defensive players out there. So he's going to be there long-term. Other guys they're bringing back, but for the most part, that defense is staying together going into next year. Now, offensively, you saw Travis Kelce is on the decline with his health, his production, etc. He's not the same tight end that he used to be. He's a Hall of Famer for sure, but he's not the same guy. So what do they need to do in order to help this offense continue running well? Well, they got to address the wide receiver room. Now, Tony is still on the team. MVS they have cut, and they had just signed Hollywood Brown onto the team for a 1-year deal, about max $11 million, which I think is a good signing. Dude has a lot of talent, just hasn't produced fully on the field. Hopefully he's able to do that with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now they still have Rashee Rice on there and Pacheco in the backfield to catch the ball out of the backfield. But I think they need to go after one more guy and to really lock down this offense, in my opinion. I would go after Mike Williams from the Los Angeles Chargers, who they just released and is looking for a new team this free agency. He's coming off that torn ACL, so you want to see how he's able to come back from that. But at the end of the day, the guy has a lot of talent. I think he bring a lot of talent into that wide receiver room and get someone that Patrick Mahomes, unless Hollywood Brown or Rashee Rice takes a huge step into next year, I think he'll bring a lot of stability that Patrick Mahomes needs in that wide receiver room. They've been lacking it ever since Tyreek Hill left that team, and he got exposed this last year with a lot of drops for Patrick Mahomes. Now, I think they could live without Mike Williams, but I think you should definitely be reaching out to that guy and trying to bring him in there and be like, hey, you can sign for a little bit less than you could sign for other teams here, but you're going to be able to have a real chance at a Super Bowl. And not a lot of teams can offer that like the Chiefs can. So that's one of my biggest things I think they need to do in this offseason. We'll see what happens. At the end of the day, the Chiefs are going to be one of the best teams going into next year. They look tough all regular season, but I think that they are going to find themselves definitely next season. Let me know down in the comments if you guys agree with this. I think it's hard to disagree since they did win the Super Bowl to not rate them an A, at the very minimum an A-. So let me know down in the comments what you guys' thoughts are. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, keep on grinding.